Actually, it's kind of a little more ambiguous than some. The individual stories have premises of their own. The first one takes place in a stairwell. Two employees of the company are trapped in a stairwell, and it turns out one has been kind of watching and keeping track of the other one and brings it to her attention in the moment and kind of lets some kind of creepy overtones kind of play out there.
Yeah, I think like with all of them, each scene or each story is two strangers meeting, a man and a woman, and it's kind of like today's the day where something out of the ordinary in their lives happen. And so yeah, they meet in, the first one they're locked in the stairwell. The second one, it's two people that meet in the bathroom of a house party. And then in the last one, they're both recalling an incident. They're being separately interrogated by a police officer, recalling something that happened between them.
I was working on a short with Ryan Scramstad, who's the main actor with us, and I was second AD on a short that he was on, and he was acting in it and came up to me and said, "Hey, I have this project that might be coming to fruition. Would you be interested in directing it?" I've been, I personally want to pursue directing and kind of creative producing to an extent, so this really called out to me. I read the script, I liked it, and then they're simple, and you could actually shoot these. They weren't so overtly ambitious that it's like, well, we can't do this. It just, we could absolutely do this, and Ryan was a super interesting guy to talk to. When we actually talked about, World War II and stuff like that. Really, I found interesting topics, different than other people were talking about. So I found that he was actually a really good person to talk with. And I met with Parker, and yeah, absolutely. I just got a great vibe. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Me and Ryan are actor buddies over the last few years, and it's funny. We did a play a couple of years ago, and that's how we met. And then, by chance, we had gotten the same agent, and so we kind of kept in contact. And then we both kind of felt the same thing. We're like, wow, we don't want to just be waiting on the other end of the phone for an agent. We want to make our own stuff. So then, originally, when I wrote the script, I was just meeting with Ryan. We would meet every week just to keep each other creative, as accountability partners. And then I'm like, hey, I got this script. And then me and him were chatting back and forth. And then he's like, I know this guy, Ed. And yeah, basically that's how it started. My background is in acting. And from trying to do professional acting gigs, a lot of the time I really just felt that I wasn't passionate about what I was auditioning for or what I was trying to work in. So I wanted to write something that I could make with people that I thought were talented, and make it all about the creative process. So I wanted to write something that was simple enough to actually make. A lot of my friends were writing stories or whatever where something crazy happens, but then it can never come into fruition. So I almost thought of theater on film. There's something that's completely driven by the characters and what's happening between them as the drama, and something that can be, say, limited to 2 actors in one location or maybe 3 actors. And I just kind of found a few stories or heard something here and there where I'm like, that kind of sounded cool, and then ran with it in my imagination, wrote a little story, and then... Yeah. So for the first story with the 2 characters meeting in the stairwell, originally I'd written that they meet and they get locked in an elevator. So they're stuck in an elevator for 10 minutes together, but obviously it's trying to find an elevator would be expensive. We'd have to pay for that. They'd have to stop the elevator. There's technical constraints.
Really?
And a lot of elevators, I guess, also with the mirrors and the lighting, not ideal. And so our next thought was well, how can we cheat an elevator? Can we choose another location that looks like an elevator, get some guerrilla shots of an actual elevator, combine the two? Maybe, but that was kind of tough. So then I was like, well, what if they get locked in a stairwell? And so we're like, yeah, we thought we'd give that a go. I rewrote the story a little bit so they could be locked in a stairwell. And then when we did it, I found with the shots,
it looked better. Stairwell at the university.
Yeah.
We had the bathroom.
In Richmond.
Bathroom in Richmond.
Yeah. And the exterior shots there, I guess.
Yeah, some exteriors at the residence. My apartment, which is convenient.
Yeah.
And then the garage. The garage in North Vancouver.
Yeah, our actress, Michaela, we got to use her house as well. It's the last story. I saw a photograph that just really spoke to me, and that's what I based the last story off of. The second story, I heard this term called a palooka, and it's my understanding is that in the 50s, a prize fighter, like a boxer, whenever their morale was down, a palooka gets hired. So basically a fighter for them to fight against, and the palooka is going to lose on purpose so that the prize fighter's morale will get boosted.
Okay.
And I was like, that's such a weird thing. So that inspired the second story.
So we met in April, shot the first one, I believe, in July. Right,
Yeah.
midway through July.
Yeah, we banged out the first two parts in July, and then last weekend shot the last part.
About like a month apart.
Yeah,
Yep.
and yeah, it was good.
We shot it over separate weekends. I believe it was a Sunday the first day.
Yeah,
Just a single Sunday for about 4 hours, 4 or 5
I
hours.
think it was like 4 days, maybe 4 hours a day,
Yeah.
like of actual shoot time.
So
Yeah.
combine it, it's like
maybe
one 15-hour day.
16, maybe 20 hours
Yeah.
total. Everyone was. It was just we just had like enough people to do it, and not too many, and everyone knew what they were doing. Everyone knew their purpose, and like it just flew. Like I was shocked.
Christian Eichmann, our DOP, he's the best. I love him. Truly, never will shoot a movie without him. He used the Sony FS700, I believe, which is nice, and he uses the Atmos Shogun display, which allows it to be shot in 4K. So yeah, that just it's amazing. I personally like smaller crews. I don't think there is a necessity to have a large crew, especially at this point. Honestly, I just like to have a good DOP, director of photography that's good. Sound, is the sound good? Perfect. So really we'd have the DOP, someone on sound, partner would be there taking care of the in the moment, like producing necessity things.
Yeah, we'd have what, like a crew of 3, 2 to 3 actors.
Yeah.